Did you know for Rushmore, when Bill Murray first read the script, he thought it was so fantastic that he said he wanted to do it so badly he would do it for free. 2. Bill Murray genuinely found Keith Macaulay and Ronnie Macaulay, who play his sons, annoying much like their screen characters, and many of the scenes where he lashes out at them and insults them were improvised. 3. On the first day of principal photography, Wes Anderson delivered his directions to Bill Murray in a hushed whisper. So awed was he to be working with the actor. Graciously, Murray deferred publicly to Anderson, helped haul equipment, and when Disney denied a helicopter scene that would have cost $75,000, he gave Anderson a blank check to cover the cost. 4. Jason Schwartzman came to his audition wearing a prep school blazer, which sported a Rushmore patch he had made himself. 5. The film was originally going to be made by New Line Cinema, but they couldn't agree on a budget. Wes Anderson, Owen Wilson, and producer Barry Mendel held an auction for the film's rights in mid-1997 and struck a deal with Joe Roth, who was then chairman of Walt Disney Studios. A budget of $10 million was agreed upon. Did you know for Schindler's List, months before he landed the title role, Liam Neeson had auditioned for Schindler? Assuming that he'd never get the part, he accepted an offer to play opposite wife-to-be Natasha Richardson in a Broadway revival of Eugene O'Neill's Anna Christie at New York's Criterion Center in 1993. One evening after a performance, Neeson was in his dressing room when a knock on the door announced the arrival of Steven Spielberg, wife Kate Capshaw, and her mother. After the show, Neeson saw that the older woman was emotionally moved by the performance, so he hugged her to comfort her. Capshaw noted his kindness and later commented to husband Steven, "That's just what Oskar Schindler would have done." Neeson received a call a week later from Spielberg with the offer of the lead role. Spielberg cited this interaction, rather than his audition, as one of the key reasons Neeson won the role. 2. Steven Spielberg refuses to autograph any materials related to this film. 3. This film and E.T. the Extraterrestrial are the two films for which Steven Spielberg would best like to be remembered. Did you know for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, according to editor Paul Hirsch, the original cut of this movie was 3 hours and 40 minutes long. He and John Hughes edited it down to 2 hours. This version was test screened, and it was probably used to edit trailers for the film, which is why they show a lot of deleted scenes. The movie was then edited again down to 1 hour and 33 minutes for theatrical release. 2. John Hughes shot over 600,000 feet, 180,000 meters of film, almost twice the industry average. The rumored 3-hour version of the film does indeed exist, although not in order. It's allegedly a mess of footage that would take months, maybe even years, according to Hughes, to transform into an actual film. It is locked away in a Paramount vault, and according to Hughes, most of it has probably deteriorated by now. 3. John Hughes originally wanted Tom Hanks for the role of Neil Page, and John Travolta for the role of Del Griffith. Hanks was unavailable since he was busy shooting Big. Paramount executives did not want Travolta in the movie because he was considered box office poison at the time. Did you know for Up in the Air, a large number of the people we see fired in the film are not actors, but people who were recently laid off? The filmmakers put out ads in St. Louis and Detroit, posing as a documentary crew looking to document the effect of the recession. When people showed up, they were instructed to treat the camera like the person who fired them and respond as they did, or use the opportunity to say what they wished they had. A way to discern who are the actors and who are the real people is that the real people do not have dialogue with George Clooney or Anna Kendrick, as they were shot separately. Jason Reitman did this intentionally, feeling that the real people would freak out Clooney and Kendrick. 2. Co-writer and director Jason Reitman stated that if George Clooney had passed on the role of Ryan Bingham, he would have rewritten the part for Steve Martin. Reitman claimed that the movie would have become much more like Lost in Translation was for Bill Murray. 3. Anna Kendrick later claimed that she was financially insecure as a working actress when she made this movie, and that during the promotional tour her wardrobe was rented for her. Did you know for Almost Famous, the film is director Cameron Crowe's semi-autobiographical account of life as a young Rolling Stone reporter. The actual group Crowe first toured with was the Allman Brothers Band. Greg Allman distrusted him and kept asking if he was a narc. Crowe was in a near-fatal plane crash while traveling with The Who. The character of Russell Hammond is partially based on Glenn Frey of Eagles. 2. Penny Lane asks William if he'd like to go to Morocco with her. He says, "Yes. Ask me again." According to Cameron Crowe, Ask Me Again was Patrick Fugit stepping out of character and asking Kate Hudson to repeat her lines for another take. Crowe liked the take as is and kept it in the final cut. 3. Most films have music budgets of less than $1.5 million. This film featured over 50 songs, with a music budget of $3.5 million. 4. According to Cameron Crowe, he sent the script around town to see if he could get anyone to respond to it. Steven Spielberg, founder of DreamWorks, read Crowe's 172-page script over the weekend and called Crowe on Monday saying, "Direct every word." Crowe said he filmed almost all of the script. Did you know for Goodfellas, and its derivatives are used 321 times, an average of 2.04 per minute? Joe Pesci says about half of them. The script called for the word to be used 70 times, but much of the dialogue was improvised during shooting and the expletives piled up. At the time of the film's release, it had the most profanity of any movie in history. 2. Martin Scorsese and Nicholas Pileggi collaborated on the screenplay. Over the course of 12 drafts, the reporter realized the visual styling had to be completely redone, so we decided to share credit. They decided which sections of the book they liked and put them together like building blocks. Scorsese persuaded Pileggi that they did not need to follow a traditional narrative structure. Scorsese wanted to take the gangster film and deal with it episode by episode, but start in the middle and move backward and forward. Scorsese would compact scenes and realized that if they were kept short, the impact after about an hour and a half would be terrific. 3. The Line. As far back as I could remember, I've Always Wanted to Be a Gangster was voted as number 20 in the 100 Greatest Movie Lines by Premiere in 2007. Did you know for Lilo and Stitch, Jumba's red spaceship, seen in the climax, is heavily modeled after a Boeing 747. This is because the original version of the flying chase scene involved Stitch and Jumba hijacking a Boeing 747 from Lihue Airport and chasing Gantu's spaceship through Honolulu, crashing into buildings. The scene was already completed when the 9/11 attacks occurred. As a result, the chase scene had to be redrawn, with 747 replaced by a similarly shaped spaceship, buildings replaced by mountains, and a street full of people replaced with a valley with just one fat guy in it. The scene is not included on any DVD or Blu-ray releases, however it is viewable on YouTube. 2. One of the most complex parts of Stitch's characterization is that it's challenging to read what kind of emotion he is feeling, mainly because his eyes don't have pupils. The animators essentially got around this problem by making Stitch very physical. 3. Like the live-action monster movie that appears briefly, photographs of Elvis Presley are real pictures and not animated drawings. Did you know for Everything Everywhere All at Once, all the VFX for this film were done by 9 people, including the 2 directors, with the majority of the shots being done by a core group of 5 people. None of the VFX team went to school for VFX. They were all friends who taught themselves with tutorials they found online for free. 2. To keep plot details under wraps before the trailer was released, the IMDb synopsis read, "It's about a 55-year-old Chinese woman trying to finish her taxes." 3. Michelle Yeoh said that the film was completely out of her comfort zone. "I was suddenly doing comedy, physical comedy, action, horror, every single genre all packed into one, and jumping in and out of it. It was such a gratifying experience. I've waited a long time to receive a script like that, because, as you get older, the box gets smaller and smaller." 4. In Evelyn's reality where she's a movie star, real footage of Michelle Yeoh on the red carpet is used, including that of the premiere for Crazy Rich Asians. 5. Became the first film to win 7 Academy Awards since Gravity, and the most awarded Best Picture winner since Slumdog Millionaire.